tips, what do you have for us?
Well, you got to find your timing. The last tune-up here for the Penguins, the power play, they want to get it on track. It can be a difference maker, you know that. What about this guy, Tristan Jarry? Great to have him back between the pipes, the two-time All-Star.
Take a little closer look at the goaltending matchup. There's Tristan, third and final appearance of the preseason, expected to play the entire game, 32 saves in Buffalo on Saturday. And for the Sabres, it's Eric Comrie, who was signed to a 2-year deal in the offseason after putting up some stellar numbers as the backup in Winnipeg last year. There's Mike Sullivan, a 3-year contract extension in the offseason. And happy to see his guys get some game action. They haven't played since Monday. Don Granato is in his second full season as Sabres head coach, known for doing a great job developing young players. He's done that in Buffalo. A lot of optimism in Buffalo for the Sabres this year. And off we go, Penguins and Sabres. One final tune-up before the points matter. We started with 58 players in this camp, now down to 26. And still some decisions to be made. Toyota RAV4 lines are at the top of the screen. Pretty close to the A lineup with good speed. It's Jake Gensel busting in down the wing. Slips it right in front. Nobody there in black and gold. It'll be cut off by Jacob Bryson. Sabres with possession and tossed out to center off the glove of Gensel. Tipped forward by the Tang for Sidney Crosby. 18th season with the Pens. He, Malkin, and Letang, longest tenured trio teammates in NHL history. Chance in tight. Quinn with the opportunity, yet shut down by Jarry.
Turnover at the Penguins blue line by Petrie, and Quinn was able to turn it in on the off wing. A right-handed shooter coming down the left side. A strong, powerful move that looked like he was trying to go 5-hole on Jarry, who shot it down. Well, let's take a look. This did not quite work here. Petrie turns the puck over. Great job there by Tuck, and then the puck is kept in. Look at this powerful move going to the net, protecting that puck, and Tristan Jarry shutting down the lower part of the ice.
Goaltending so important, and Tristan Jarry, I thought Bob looked very good Saturday in Buffalo in the losing effort. And then what more can we say about Casey DeSmith on Monday in Detroit? He was spectacular in that victory against the Detroit Red Wings. So.
Yeah, how about that? I mean, what is it, 3 or 4 sparkling saves as time was almost expiring there to keep the win.
Definitely looks like the goalies are dialed in. Big step up by Jeff Petrie, trying to get a piece of Quinn.
Look at this guy move. P.O. Joseph trying to make a mark here tonight. Give it back to him.
And here he comes. This is P.O. Steps in, fires, and it's up to the glass. Will deflect off the protective netting. Third preseason game for P.O. Joseph, who was acquired in the Phil Kessel trade from the Arizona Coyotes. Big game, isn't it, Bob, for P.O.? Trying to make his mark here at the NHL level.
Yeah, and his best ability is skating, carrying the mail. He does it here. It's a little give and a little go. Pretty good shot there by P.O. Our Super Mo presented by AHN gives you a good look at P.O.'s speed.
20 career National Hockey League games for P.O. Joseph. So Joseph with Petrie and Ty Smith. We also highlighted him in the open. Ty Smith with Jan Ruda. 5th preseason game, Bob, for Ty Smith. That is a long look, a lot of time with Jan Ruda, which is interesting, and also a lot of time on the second power play unit in practice.
Yeah, he's an interesting player. He's not a big guy, but the NHL certainly is changing. There's a lot of smaller defensemen out there, and if you have the IQ to play that position, you can be well, it can be very rewarding for your hockey team, and they're looking for some offense from him. But in a tie game, and when you're trying to hold a lead, they want to see if he can defend as well. Something that Todd Reardon's working with him on, and he's certainly accepting of that.
2 years in New Jersey for Ty Smith, 114 National Hockey League games. He was a first-round pick, as was P.O. Joseph. Now comes Jeff Carter along with Kasperi Kapanen. Mike Sullivan likes the duos with those forward line combinations, and that is one that had some chemistry last year at times. Kapanen and Carter. First preseason action for Jeff Carter, who was dealing with an upper body injury earlier.
Carter played with his dad in Philly.
Right.
So that's remarkable.
Jeff Carter was a young guy with Sammy Kapanen. Funny how life works out.
Yeah.
Zemgus Girgensons left it along the wall. This is Anders Bjork for Buffalo. The 2 Penguins toward him. Zemgus Girgensons, longest tenured Sabre, 9th year with Buffalo.
You can't tell me he's only 6'2", Mears.
Yeah, I don't believe that either.
He's got to be 6'4". He looks huge out there. And he had a bad hamstring injury a couple of years ago, and he's really got himself back on track. Here he is with the biscuit.
Another step up from Jeff Petrie. Wanted to get a little more size on the blue line. Ron Hextall addressing that acquisition of Jeff Petrie and Jan Ruda, who's just a solid stay-at-home defenseman. Ruda, number 44 for the Pens, two-time Stanley Cup champion with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Jacob Bryson waiting for his teammates to make a change. We're 3 minutes in. It is great to have you with us, everybody. Sixth and final exhibition game for the Pens. They are 2-3-0 so far, which of course means nothing. They want to develop some good habits and certainly would like a victory going into the home opener, which is 6 days away. Look at it. Loose pucks. Sloppy play from the Sabres, but we'll be able to sort it out. And Asplund will hand it off to Casey Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald lays it in. Rasmus Asplund looking for a play. Tips it back and will be whipped down to the far corner by Victor Olofsson. Retrieved by Brian Dumoulin. Dumoulin along with Letang. Those two, will be together quite a bit this year, as they have been for the last 6 years.
But look at that strong play by Letang. How about his skating in training camp? He was lapping people when they were doing the skating around the nets at the end of the day.
A full zone ahead of the rest of the guys in his group.
I know. You don't want to get in that group.
No. He'll make you look bad.
Yeah. That's where you got to be. You got to be a veteran there.
68 points for Letang last year. Falcon trying to lateral pass. That's going to be broken up on the counterattack with Middlestad, along with Alex Tuck.
Things tried the center drive there. Didn't quite work. Here we go.
Wake up here for Brian Rust. Talk about career years. And also a 6-year contract extension for Brian Rust. He was the first guy who got one of those new deals about a week after the season came to an end. Casey Middlestad chips it over to the circle. Rising shot from Alex Tuck will deflect up and out of play.
Well, Brian Rust, 6 years. Take a look at the center drive. The middle guy's got to get there quick. Zucker hit a skate there. They were looking to go the far side, and then Rust is able to back check. He does that so well. Coach Mike Sullivan was talking about Brian Rust, and we had him in Wilkes-Barre. We grew up together. He was just learning the trade, and now he's got a family, and it's just amazing watching these guys grow up together.
Yeah, I was talking about that earlier today, and not just Rust, but Brian Dumoulin, Jake Gensel, who is a dad now. He celebrated a birthday yesterday, as did Josh Archibald.
Archibald's 30 now. That's unbelievable.
Yes, exactly.
Back here,
we're all getting old, aren't we?
Yeah, well, not me, Mears.
That's true.
That's true. I'm getting old.
Dan Heinen, career high.
Look at this play.
Bank pass going to work for Kapanen. In fire, save made by Comrie.
Beautiful play. Was that Petrie behind the back?
From the corner, Heinen. Jeff Carter gets body position against Bryce and feeds it back to point. Letang, the slap pass, looking for a deflection in front. Kapanen throws a check, but out the center comes Dylan Cousins for the Sabres. Cousins, Letang to beat. Going to pivot in the corner. Teammates are changing. Cousins leaning. Left it. Still on the perimeter now. It's Casey Fitzgerald. Made his NHL debut in this building. Son of Tom Fitzgerald, former Pens assistant GM.
Yeah, a little scrap in that game.
Sam Lafferty, yes.
That's right. That was Carter who made that play behind the back of Kapanen, the indirect play, because Kapanen was fronted by the defenseman, so Carter went in behind him off the wall. Beautiful play.
And you gotta love seeing the speed from Kasperi Kapanen. He's got the wheels. Didn't see enough of it last year. Looking for a bounce-back campaign. Very good 2 years ago with the Pens. 30 points in 40 games.
You might see him killing some penalties here tonight. He's been killing in preseason here for Mike Sullivan, something that he did quite a bit for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Early shots on goal, 4-1 in favor of the Pens. Jeremy Davies flips it forward, deflected over the line by Rasmus Asplund. Penguins break it out, and it's Rickard Rakell. He'll dance in. Also a 6-year contract extension for Rakell. Getting some time here throughout training camp on the Crosby line with Jake Gensel. This trio was good last year. And we know Brian Rust will probably see some time with Gensel and Crosby. We know what they can bring. Rickard Rakell unfortunately got hurt in the postseason series against the Rangers. They were able to play in 2 games in that series. Ty Smith with the shot attempt that's blocked by Hinostroza. Gensel looking to leave it for Crosby. Jake Gensel, 40 goals for the second time in his career. Also an all-star season ago. Turnover, Crosby, Gensel open right there. He scores! Jake Gensel! The feed from Crosby, the magic of those two, making it 1-0.
Crosby read that reverse play behind the net. And the turnover, it was too easy for 87 as he steals the puck here. Gensel's wide open. Comrie's deep in the net. And where does Guentzel put it? Up high. No chance at all. Tape-to-tape pass. And for Jake Guentzel at 40 last year, he gets another one here. I don't know if he was better in the regular season, probably better in the playoffs, Mearsy, where he had 8 goals for Jake Guentzel. Not many, there wasn't a lot of talk about that because the Penguins didn't get through, but boy, he is a real star in this National Hockey League.
Jake Guentzel turned 28 yesterday. I mentioned he's a dad now. And looks exactly the same as he did when he broke into the league. Incredible.
He's just living the dream, isn't he? He's just a hockey player, loves to play, and found a spot with Sidney Crosby.
Here's your scoring summary brought by Point Park University. Crosby with the assist. Jake Guentzel with the goal. Penguins with the 1-0 lead. Malkin applying some pressure against Alex Tuch. Letang keeps it in, left it in the corner. Labushkin is going to turn and snap it out to center ice for Jack Quinn. A lot of talented young players in the lineup for the Buffalo Sabres. Quinn would be one of them, 8th overall in 2020. Just as we saw on Saturday in Buffalo, many first-round draft choices, exciting young players. We were so impressed with Owen Power in that performance. He's not playing here. What a bright future for him. First overall pick, big defenseman, 19 years old.
Yeah, the Buffalo Sabres have a lot to look forward to. The Sabres and their fans. They've had a good preseason. The young guys have certainly held their own, and I really like the way they've come along.
Here's a chance for Krebs, and it goes high. There's another one of those top young players, big part of the Eichel trade, Peyton Krebs. Pilot, high slot, Peyton Krebs. Drags it over to the wall. Smith stays with him all the way to the top. It's flipped into the slot off this scramble, but losing an edge was J.J. Peterka, and out come the Penguins. Here's Jan Ruda. Ruda looks, fires, blocked by Pilot, and the puck goes up and out of play. 11:05 to go in the first. Pretty good pace here early on. The goal, Jake Guentzel. From who else? Sidney Crosby. 1-0 for the Pens.
Will we see another 40-goal season from Jake Guentzel? Maybe, but he's got one tonight. 1-0 Penguins here in the first. Time for our UPMC Health System injury update. Teddy Bluger, who's been dealing with a upper body injury, was on the ice with Chad Riedel and Marcus Pettersson this morning, and then took part in the team's optional skate in a non-contact jersey. Mike Sullivan later saying that he is making significant progress and hopes he will join practice in a full capacity soon. I know Teddy's watching. Dude, I like the hair.
A new look for Teddy, isn't it?
Good flow, good flow.
Crosby trying to sneak one in past Eric Comrie. As Guentzel works it back. Ty Smith with the shot, reaching in there. Raquel and Crosby, and Comrie is able to make the save. Barrel Subaru leaders. Snapshot on Jake Guentzel's 2021-22 season. 40 goals for the second time in his career, 84 points, tied with Crosby for the team lead in that category. All career highs. And yeah, Bob, even better in the postseason, which he's done throughout his career. He scored 8 goals in that playoff series against the Rangers. Anders Bjork trying to skate away from Crosby. Flips it to center ice, and backpedaling will be Chris Letang. Letang and Dumoulin. Raquel pursues Labushkin. It's shouldered by Crosby. Advance the puck, though. Dumoulin on the hold. Labushkin cuts it off in the corner before it got to Crosby. Dumoulin for Guentzel. Fading back. Raquel. Guentzel, another chance. Crosby backdoor. He scores! There they are again. Going the other way this time. Guentzel to Crosby. 2-0.
Great patience by Jake Guentzel. He just waited for an opportunity for things to open up for him as he's on the offside. Watch how he takes this pass, waits for Crosby to get there, the defenseman to go down and spin around, and that just leaves everything wide open. Patience, hold on, wait for everything, and that's too easy again. Comrie got a little bit of a pad on that, his right pad, but Crosby got about 14 inches of elevation. You got to get it up, Mearsy. You got to get the puck up in tight. Crosby got it up just high enough.
First of the preseason for the captain. His two line mates factoring in, Raquel and Gensel. Puck comes back to Pilot, looking for a deflection in front was Vinny Hinostroza. So Bob, what do you think about the line and going with Raquel, not Rust, on the top line? I guess Mike Sullivan trying to spread the wealth. He knows what he has with Gensel, Crosby, and Rust. Always something he could go back to.
Yeah, he can always go back to that. And Raquel is quite a talent. One more look at the goal. You can see the patience of Gensel as Crosby's able to open up and elevate it. You know, he kind of put a little bit more dish on his blade a couple years ago. That helps get that puck up, but you know, you got to give Malkin somebody. Why not give him Rust? Those guys have always been great together, too. So there's a lot of combinations here for Mike Sullivan. And you can't go wrong. He likes pairings, though, right?
Yeah.
So he likes Gensel, Crosby. He likes Malkin, Rust.
Moved by Ty Smith with the shot. A blocker save made by Eric Comrie. So we see the Malkin line on right now, along with Jason Zucker, who was healthy after an injury-plagued season. And just good to see that he can skate. He said it's nice to be able to move out there, be at 100%. Speed a big part of his game. Here's Smith going to Malkin. Ty Smith, Rust open. Malkin the drive, stop, rebound, scramble, and the save by Eric Comrie.
Well, now it's mesmerizing. The Penguins passing, and the Buffalo Sabres look like they're in quicksand. You're going to be made to look foolish if you don't take bodies against this Penguin team. Well, you take a look at Jake without the lid, Crosby with the C in his 18th year, Malkin in the middle, but Jake and Sid, 84 points each last year to share that top honor as most points in the Pittsburgh Penguins. And then there is the right winger so far, and it'd be Rickard Raquel. You mentioned it, he only got in a couple of games, Mearsy, against the New York Rangers, but Hexie got him signed up for a lot more than that.
6-year deal, $30 million, signed on July 11th. Ron Hextall was one of the busiest people in hockey, and to be able to re-sign all of those players, if you told me he was going to do that, Bob, I would have said it's probably impossible with the names. And you're talking about Letang, Malkin, and Rust, but then Raquel on top of that. It was an incredible summer for the Pens GM.
I don't know how they got it done, and quite honestly, they are over the cap right now here, Mears. They're going to have to conform, and we'll see what they have in store here in the next week.
Yeah, still have to get cap compliant, and we told you in the open they have 9 defensemen right now, so decisions have to be made. Maybe the most intriguing on the blue line. Marcus Pettersson is not playing tonight. Theo Joseph getting a chance with Jeff Petrie, and see that combination again of Ty Smith and Jan Rutta. They've been together throughout the entire training camp.
Shots 11-3 right now for the Penguins. They've really taken over this game.
Jeff Petrie, veteran defenseman, over the Montreal Canadiens. 4 straight years, double-digit goals, 40-plus points. So he has that offensive side, but also bringing some size. And want to get a little bit bigger, a little heavier on the blue line. Gave up a lot of goals from the net front, not tying up sticks last year. So Ron Hextall addressing that, not just Petrie, but Jan Rutta as well. Thursday is the Penguins home opener. They'll take on the Arizona Coyotes. You can log on to PittsburghPenguins.com or scan that QR code on your screen to purchase your tickets for Pens home games this season. 6 days away from the home opener. 3 of the first 4 will be on home ice. Saturday we will see Jan Rutta's former team, Tampa Bay Lightning, after the home opener against the Coyotes.
Rutta's found his way on to some talented teams.
Oh, yeah. Started with Chicago. And then the Tampa Bay Lightning, a lot of success there. Some time playing with Victor Hedman. And now Pittsburgh Penguin, Jan Rutta. 3-year deal in the offseason. Gotta like this grind line, Bob. We've got to talk a little bit more about this trio. Ryan Poehling, Brock McGinn, and Josh Archibald. What did you think of them Monday in Detroit? Brought a lot of energy, no doubt about that.
Yeah. Archibald's like a wrecking ball out there, and you know, he just bounces off players. He's annoying to play against, very hard to play against. He's like a dog on a bone, and he never gives up at all. So he's a dad that I used to play against back in the day, and this is his second tour of duty here. And of course, we know Brock McGinn, what he can bring to the Penguins with his speed, ability to score, and we'll see who's going to fit in there on that. It's Paling right now. There's some other guys that have made good strides. Bluger, hopefully they're going to have him come back soon.
5th preseason game for Ryan Paling, and yes, part of that is because of the Bluger injury, but we've seen some promise, including Monday in the 3-2 win for the Pens against the Red Wings.
Yeah, throw Poulin's name in the hat too.
Yeah, Sam Poulin, yes.
He's been great. He's really showed a lot here. He made big strides last year in the Wilkes-Barre. They sat him down for a game or two, and I think he just come back stronger. He showed that he has some resilience. That's what you want to see from a player.
Poulin is still here, first-round draft choice. And one of the more impressive players of this training camp. Again, good forechecking pressure from the Penguins, forcing a Sabre turnover, and it's worked back to the top for Ruda. Ruda over to Zucker, give and go. Shank the one-timer, comes to Smith in front, score! Brian Rust! Tic-tac goal, it's 3-0.
Well, I'd like to tell you that Ruda was trying to make a pass there, but he fanned on a shot, and it went right over to Ty Smith. Take a look at this. It's going to come back to Ruda. He fans on that. It goes right onto the tape of Ty Smith. And Brian Rust, look at the positioning he's got in front. Brian Rust has got beautiful body position. He shields out his man. And Smith has got great vision. That's what he can bring, Ty Smith, that offensive ability. And the Penguins have it all working for them right now. Up 3-0 on their 12th shot to 3 for the Sabres.
3rd goal of the preseason for Brian Rust. And the Penguins flying in this first period. Taking on a Buffalo team that is 4-1 in the preseason. Missing some of their key players, including Tage Thompson, Jeff Skinner, Rasmus Dahlin. We talked about Owen Power. And we saw on Saturday, it was very impressive. And they're excited about the goaltender, Eric Comrie. Not much you could do about some of these goals. Eric Comrie was excellent for Winnipeg last year as the backup to Connor Hellebuck. Tristan Jarry at the other end making this save.
It's been all Pittsburgh here. Brian Rust, stick on the ground. Smith found it.
Good start for the home team as the Penguins have a 3-0 lead here in the first. And the 10th annual Pittsburgh Penguins 6.6K Run and Family Walk presented by Highmark is this Sunday. And if you've not signed up, you still can. That's right. Fans can take part virtually or in person. Just log on to mariolemieux.org before 8 a.m. on Sunday. All proceeds benefit the cancer research and patient care initiatives of the Mario Lemieux Foundation, as well as the youth initiatives of the Pittsburgh Penguins Foundation. It'll be chilly on Sunday, but lots will be in attendance, that's for sure.
I know you're looking forward to it, Dan. I can't believe we're coming up on 30 years since the creation of the Mario Lemieux Foundation. You think about the lives impacted over the last 3 decades. Incredible work by the entire Lemieux family. Announcing the goal for Brian Rust, Ty Smith, Jan Ruda. Take that preseason assist on the missed one-timer. Why not? I hope you get those bounces in another week or so.
No kidding. No kidding.
Puck goes wide of Comrie. Will bring it back into Tristan Jarry's end.
Not a lot of hits in this hockey game. I was just alluding to. I just saw Archibald, though. He finished off his man. Guys like Josh Archibald, you know, these guys that are mucking and grinding, the 3rd and 4th liners, they're going to finish off their checks. And there's one from Archibald right there. So he had a couple of that last. They don't know any different, Mearsy. There's no pulling up in those guys.
That's his game, isn't it? Saw that 5 years ago. Just came in with the Penguins, part of the Stanley Cup team, 2017. Also part of the Edmonton Oilers last year. Played more postseason games than he did in the regular season. And Josh Archibald is back with the Pens, and his 30th birthday yesterday. Puck is carried neatly by Cousins right down the middle. Takes a shot, and that's blocked by Dumoulin. Krebs looking for Cousins. That's gonna be taken by Cousins. Chipped up the wall. Davies to the front. Pinballs around side of the net. Try to go backdoor for Peterka. Penguins motor through center, and Gensel on the flip in. Card Raquel applying some pressure. Then it was Crosby. The forechecking game on point for the Pens here in this first period. And a 3-0 lead. 4 minutes to go in the first. Gensel, Crosby, and Russ the goal scorers, and the Crosby line buzzing again, but it was cut off by Cousins, trying to chip it out of there. He does, and ahead is J.J. Peterka. Outstanding last year in the American Hockey League, second-round draft choice. Peterka, it's knocked down to the ice, squirts over to Dumoulin, got a little bit of time. Dumoulin, go to Raquel, falling down, got it out of harm's way. The Penguins looking for an avenue out.
Good couple of shifts here for the Sabres. Finally getting on their horse here a little bit, moving their legs.
Sabres finished last year very well. 16-9-3 run at the end of the regular season. And with that, plus all the young players, plenty of excitement in Western New York for this team. Here is Zucker with a pass to Russ. A backhand feed blocked by Lyubushkin. Ricocheted back to Ty Smith. Smith pulls up against Lyubushkin. Spun in behind. Bryson is there defensively for Buffalo. Now he's got some time and space.
Yeah, this is a Sabres game. They've tried to control the play a little bit, try not to throw that puck away. A little more puck possession here from their coach.
Coach is Don Granato. Had that reputation about really good with young players. Several young players from the Sabres taking strides since he took over behind the bench, and also extended their general manager, Kevin Adams, in the offseason. He's got a lot of goaltending options, not just Eric Comrie. We were impressed, Bob, by Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen on Saturday, and got the veteran Craig Anderson. Sent down wide of Comrie. And get an icing call. Coming up in the first intermission, presented by your neighborhood Ford store with Robin J. And Potash will have an interview with P.O. Joseph, Pierre-Olivier Joseph.
Yeah, he says block out the noise. Block out the noise. There's too much out there. I'm just going to play and control what I can and let the chips fall where they may. He just wants to enjoy his experience and what he's doing out there. He feels that's when he's at his best.
Good year with Wilkes-Barre last year, 33 points in 61 games. Actually living with Chris Letang during training camp. Trains with him in the offseason in the Montreal area, so could you have a better guy to train with than Letang? And you're a young defenseman. I feel
bad every day. Put me to shame.
Learning from him every day, and now staying with the Letang family here in training camp. Hoping it's a longer stay. P.O. Joseph. And of course still have Ruedel and Friedman. There's a chance just at the side of the net for Jack Quinn. Had that roll away, and now throws it into the high slot. It's picked up easily by Carter. And the Penguins with some numbers here. 4-on-3 rush. It's Heinen. Kapanen. Carter tried to go skate the stick. It goes wide. Wanted to spin it in front, but blocked away. Follow up by Heinen. Got straightened up by Casey Fitzgerald, and now it's Alex Tuck who will go rink wide for Quinn. Jack Quinn over the line. Casey middle step. Toss on net. Stop. Rebound. Reaching for it was Quinn. Deflects to the corner.
Boy, that Tuck can fly, can he? He made the play, and next thing you know, he's in front of the net. And he is huge out there. He's got some of the longest strides in the National Hockey League.
Grew up a Sabres fan, 38 points in 50 games last year after he recovered from an injury, and after the trade, as part of that Jack Eichel trade, just excited to be a Buffalo Sabre. You throw in Tage Thompson, Jeff Skinner, Darlene and company. Exciting young team. Standing around the wall, trying to work it up the boards was Letang. Tied up was Archibald. Archibald gloves it down, powers his way out to center. Here comes that energy line. Lobbed over toward Paling, could get a stick on it. And now Letang locates McGinn. 45 seconds to go in the first. Penguins have been dominant in terms of scoring chances. They have another one, and Raquel is robbed by Comrie.
Paling took a punishment in the corner there, but made the play. He's checking his face right now as he gets up. Take a look. Paling's there battling for the puck. He gets polished off here, right in the chops. He takes an elbow, comes right out to Raquel, who goes down to one knee. Boy, that was a dangerous hit from Paling in the corner there, and Raquel tried to get that puck high up over Comrie.
Card Raquel, two-time 30-goal scorer, has that great shot. One of the reasons why Mike Sullivan loves seeing him on the line with Crosby and Gensel. In addition to the give-and-go game and working hard down low, we talk about that and those characteristics to be a Crosby line mate. Raquel has some of those attributes.
Well, not a lot of big hits in this, but as Paling's going down here, take a look at this hit he takes from Cousins into the corner. Boy, that's That could have ended ugly. Really could have. He seems to be okay right now.
Tailing a part of that Mike Matheson trade. It's acquired Jeff Petrie and Ryan Poehling from the Montreal Canadiens. 15 seconds to go, first period. Slipped out to center. Anders Bjork fires it wing to wing. Gergensen whips it in and stopped by Tristan Jarry, who's had to make just 5 saves. And that's the way it's going to end here in the first. There's the horn. Goals from Gensel, Crosby, and Rust. Well, Bobby talked about good habits. So far, so good from the home team.
Yeah, I'm looking at the keys. Find your timing. I think the Pens have it. Power play, we don't know. And Jarry, he hasn't been tested, so 2 more periods to go.
We saw Gensel and Crosby doing their thing in the offensive zone. Also a goal for Brian Rust. 3-0. And the first intermission report is coming up. Season finale. It's the Penguins up 3-0 against the Buffalo Sabres. Thanks to goals from Gensel, Crosby, and Rust. Bob, we started the show. One of the topics at the very beginning was the young defense, the 2 youngest for the Penguins, getting a chance to play here. What'd you think of Smith and Joseph?
Well, Joseph was good. He started off, with a great skating ability. Took the give-and-go feed from his man. Look at him using his long reach, his stick there, and that turns the puck over for the Penguins. They go the other way. I thought they both played well, but Ty Smith, he's able to drift along that blue line. He's got great mobility, looking for a tip from Raquel there. Here he makes the play to Brian Rust, tape-to-tape play. He had a great period. He really did. He was a +2. He had 3 shots on net. He played .550, and Ty Smith looked real good in that first period of play. Now, the Buffalo Sabres, they didn't provide a lot of resistance, and they're going to have to be better in the second. P.O. Joseph, I thought he was good at 23 years of age, and he talked to Dan Potash in that first period. He's just trying to block out some of the interference. He wants to act like he's having fun, like he was 3 or 4 on the ice, and who wasn't having fun then?
Always has a smile on his face, and he's really enjoying this time. Well, we saw the magic between Jake Gensel and Sidney Crosby. We've been seeing it for the last 6 years. And they teamed up for the first 2 goals. Here's the captain. Crosby, 84 points last year in 69 games. 10th 30-goal campaign. And Jake with 40. And they tied in points. What a season for Jake Gensel. In some ways underrated, I would say, Bob. I mean, Jake Gensel is a superstar.
Yeah, he is.
Doesn't seem to get the credit.
Underrated.
Around the league.
I agree with you totally. The Penguins left-siders, led by Gensel with his 40 goals. Tonight here, 78 they provided, 78 goals last year. The Sentiments, 79 goals with the lineup that we see here tonight. The right wingers, 55 goals. So that's pretty good balance amongst your top liners. The defense, only 27 goals. They're going to look for a little bit more. If Ty Smith's in the lineup this year, Friedman is not in the lineup tonight. You got Chad Ruhwedel, who's a mainstay. But those guys don't provide a lot of offense, so the home Petrie can bring some of that as well.
Underway here in the second period. 6th and final preseason game for the Penguins and the Buffalo Sabres. 6 days away from opening night against the Arizona Coyotes. Penguins went 23-13-5 in this building last year. Pretty good record, but for the Penguins standard, I'd like to improve upon that. That was only 7th best among the home records in the Eastern Conference. And this is a franchise that has had the most home wins over the last 11 years in the entire National Hockey League. So trying to get back to that dominance at PPG Paints Arena. Thursday, the home opener against the Coyotes. You can log on to PittsburghPenguins.com or scan that QR code on your screen to purchase your tickets for all Pens home games this season. Tampa Bay Lightning in the first week. Got the LA Kings coming to town. And then after those early home games, 3 of 4 at home, then it's 13 of 16 on the road, including the Western Canadian road trip. Did you like that, Bob? The big road trip early on in the season when you were playing?
Yeah, it's a nice time for the guys to bond a little bit, get on the road, chat about your summer and try to get, you can chat about hockey too, right? You want to get on the same page. Penguins want to get off to a great start and get back into the playoffs again.
Yeah, Kenny Malkin's line on the ice. The puck carrier is Brian Rust, joined by his buddy Jason Zucker. Puck comes back to P.O. Joseph, advanced by Malkin, spun in by Rust, and drifting out of the crease will be Eric Comrie. Not much he could do in the first period, goals that were given up. Pilot snaps at the center ice, but Turka trying to deflect it in. Good step up by Jan Ruda. Now it's Kapanen over the line. Carter with a chance. Here he is, holding, firing, and it's off the body.
He didn't want to hit Kapanen. Kapanen was right in the line of fire.
Jeff Carter had a very good year last year. He was the Penguins' 5th leading scorer. 19 goals, his most since 2017. Added 4 more in the playoffs. His Cousins with a pass in front and knuckles around in the slot. Peterka gets some separation, goes Dylan Cousins back up high, drive, chest save made by Jari, loose in front and swept wide by Krebs. Peterka worked over by Ruda. Danton Heinen is there. Defensive effort, squirts free to Cousins, tap back to the point. Long shot is going to be speared by Tristan Jarry.
Yeah, they're battling here right now. Krebs and Smith are battling in front of the net, and the Sabres are coming on here, trying to show some face and really tilt the scales their way as they come out with a little pushback here to start this second period. There's the battle in front. Krebs, as he's boxed out by Ty Smith, something the Penguins are looking for. And you know, they got the guru back there, don't they, Reardon?
Todd Reardon?
Yeah, he's the guru of defensemen.
The defenseman guru, yes.
He can figure it out.
Well, think of the work that he's done. Going back a long time working with Chris Letang, Mike Matheson. How about Cody Ceci when he was a Penguin that 1 year? Breaking up ice, Paling will catch up to it, leaving it, and then a whirling shot from Archibald. Didn't get enough on it, but it's back to Petrie. The Penguins are hoping for Todd Reardon working with Ty Smith, who's a young defenseman, only 22 years of age. Good amount of NHL experience, being a first-round draft choice, and 2 years with the New Jersey Devils. He's going to be whistled down here at the Sabres blue line. Todd Reardon, promoted, associate coach. He got a 2-year extension, as did Mike Bellucci. Congratulations to both of those coaches, and of course Mike Sullivan got a 3-year contract extension. Second longest tenured coach in the NHL. What a staff the Penguins have assembled. Throw in Ty Hennis as well. On the bench, Penguins skills coach.
Maybe he should be in the National Hockey League, the way he's...
With his energy?
Yeah, with his energy and his skills out there. He
has some amazing hands.
He never runs out of... He must sleep well. He's got to sleep well.
If you ever go to the Penguin practices at Cranberry, you will hear his voice. He's very energetic, very vocal out there, and also really creative when it comes to the drills and working with these guys and developing different skill sets. Ty Hennis does a terrific job in that role for the Pens. Ricard Raquel takes it off the wall, goes to Crosby. Crosby looking in the direction of Gensel. Crosby goes down. Out come the Sabres. Asplund. Now it is driven in by Victor Olofsson. Nearly turned over by Jarry. Chopped up off a stick and off the netting.
Now Sidney's got it, checking that edge right now. There's got to be something wrong with that edge. There's no way he could have tripped the way he did right there. You know, he got a little bit of a chuckle inside. As he's, you know, guys like Crosby, Malkin, these veterans, they want to get through this game healthy, number one. There's Ty. There's Ty. All these guys got promotions this year.
Yes.
Huh? New titles.
Ty Smith for Pittsburgh. Nice maneuver. Slips it forward for Rust. Pass was impeded by Tuck, but still able to move it north. Good persistence from Jason Zucker, and Malkin's going to crash into Comrie and the post. Hopefully everybody's okay there. That's a big man coming right into your grill, your Eric Comrie.
Malkin worked hard, very hard. He came into camp earlier than he ever has for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and he's chomping at the bit to show everybody that he hasn't lost a step. And you know, even sitting in my position, I hate to talk about just trying to get through these games healthy, Mearsy, because as soon as I say that, a guy like Malkin runs into the side of the net like that, and that's all these guys, these veterans are trying to do here is get to game one.
It's okay. It will not be your fault. Ruda, Malkin, wasn't in the wheelhouse. Malkin gets tripped up, and that'll be the game's first penalty. It'll be touched by Lyubushkin, and the Penguins will go to work on the power play.
Well, Lyubushkin going to the box here for the, or is it Bryson? Let's take a look.
Buffalo 78, minor penalty tripping.
There it is, Bryson. Yep. We'll stick on the skates there for the defender of the Buffalo Sabres. He'll be in the box. The Penguins looking for some power play time here and see if they can get a, let's see what their mentality is here. Is it shot first? Are they going to pass it around? Let's see what they got.
Well, they're going to control off this face-off. We go back to your tips, Bob, and the Penguins want to sharpen this power play. Worked on it a lot this week. All different situations in practice, including 5-on-3, 4-on-3. They go rink wide. Malkin through the seam. Off the wall to Crosby. Crosby is Russ side of the net. Spin around pass. Malkin sets it up for Letang. Cuts pass over to the captain. Penguins were 19th in the league last year. Got to be better in this department. Letang to Crosby working the top. Russ the one-timer, and that's blocked by Fitzgerald, and he will lift it out to center.
A lot of passing, and you saw Crosby right at the top of that umbrella, Mearsy, not down low at all. He was in the top.
And a bunch of different looks. Look out, a 2-on-1. Buffalo, Hinostroza holding, firing, he scores. Short-handed goal. Vinny Hinostroza beats Jari. It's a 3-1 game.
You know, Hinostroza scored a great goal in his last game in the exhibition, and there he faked like he was going to pass it on the 2-on-1. Both Letang went down to take away the pass, as did Jari cheat off the goalpost. Take a look at this little play by Hinostroza. Right there, down, and the puck goes up as Jari's off the goalpost. And as a defenseman, your job is to take away the pass, allow the shooter to square up with the shooter and the goalie. So the goalie's got to take away Hinostroza there. He can't be cheating across. Letang took away the pass. Hinostroza read it beautifully and went up over the glove as he saw Jari cheat off that post. And I got to tell you, Jari hasn't seen, well, that's the first odd man rush against him all game, Mearsy.
Third goal of the preseason for Vinny Hinostroza. Got a 1-year contract extension in July. We can now go with the second power play unit that will feature the two newcomers, Jeff Petrie and Ty Smith. Ricard Raquel, Jeff Carter, and he'll be posted up in front, bunched up in the corner now. Will spread out, and puck on the stick of Jeff Petrie. Petrie, power play quarterback for the Montreal Canadiens. Raquel with a drive, and that's off of Comrie. Jeff Petrie from the half wall. Work back to Ty Smith, so good that lateral movement at the line. Now Raquel, double team. Raquel lost possession. Sabres will waste some time. This is Cale Clegg just hanging on, and now he drives it down the distance. 13 seconds to go in the Penguin power play chance. We'll have to continue talking about it, Bob. This has got to be an area where they must be better, and they should be. This should be a feared power play, and it wasn't last year.
No, you got to retrieve pucks. Look out, man out of the box.
Bryson with Petrie to beat. Petrie gets enough of Bryson. Puck corralled by Malkin.
There's a little bit of comfort out there with those guys, Mearsy, and sometimes, you know, you really have to kind of, you know, in practice you're passing it around, and they did pass it around beautifully, but you do have to accomplish things, and that is getting pucks on the net. As we all know, if you don't shoot, you don't score.
I was going to ask you, that's the question for me, is who's the shooter? Probably should be Malkin, right?
Yeah.
We've seen him how many times on the power play, the one-timer.
We talk about that amongst ourselves, and you know, in practice, you don't want to wind up and shoot one right at your guy who's standing in front of you, so you tend to pass it around a little more, and sometimes you do get in to that, well, let's call it a bad habit if you want to. You know, you want to be better than 19th. You want to be in the top third, and there's no reason why this power play should not be in the top third in the National Hockey League. Look at the talent on it.
Todd Reardon yesterday was speaking with the media. He said they liked the chances that they generated as far as expected goals. They were actually 7th in the league on those expected goals on the power play, but got to be better than 19th at only 20.2%. Led by Malkin and Russ last year, 9 power play goals apiece.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't add the fact that you can't give up a shorthanded goal.
Yes.
And you can't lose momentum, and that's really what you do not want to do.
Pens gave up 8 of those last year. Never a good time, but it seemed like they were the worst times. Usually swing games in the wrong direction. Dylan Cousins, another former first-round draft choice. He gets straightened up by Dumoulin. Pass intended for Peterka, cut off by Letang, and then the high flip from Crosby relieves that pressure. Jeremy Davies has it for the Sabres. It's a 3-1 score. Gensel, Crosby, Rust, all with tallies in the first period, and then a short-handed goal from Vinny Hinostroza, his third of the preseason. Making things a little more interesting. Tristan Jarry's going to melt this one down. And still looking for their first shot.
I was going to say, look at the shots now. They were 13, was it 5 or 6? It's 13-6, now it's 13-11. A tighter game and a little pushback here from the Sabres.
Work our way through the second period, and on Tuesday, the UPMC Children's Hospital Foundation received a $5 million gift from the Mario Lemieux Foundation to establish a pediatric cancer research institute. It will focus on supporting future research leaders who will help produce new scientific breakthroughs and cutting-edge clinical trials in pediatric cancer research and translate that research directly to patients. Guys?
Dan, thanks so much. So much terrific work from the Lemieux and the foundation, as we talked about earlier. Another chance. Asplund fires a pass across. Jarry sliding over, makes the save on the bid from Anders Bjork.
Bjork mishandled it just a little bit, allowed Jarry to get across quickly left to right and make that stop up high.
Look at this Carter line. Carter with Kapanen and Danton Heinen, who was also re-signed. Got a one-year deal in the offseason. Career year for him. Scored 18 goals. Very good player in a depth role for the Pens.
He had a fantastic season last year. He really did.
He wasn't qualified by the Pens, but he was telling me he just saw the market, and he was absolutely right. Take the deal. It was a one-year, $1 million deal in July, and knowing how tight the market was and there weren't too many jobs out there, he said, yeah, I definitely want to come back to Pittsburgh. And very happy with the deal that he got. Playing on a Carter line with Kapanen, at least at the moment, and that leaves Rust, Malkin, and Zucker. Flying in is Brian Rust, surrounded by Sabres. Back for Malkin, jabbed away from him.
Look out.
Players collide, toppling down Malkin and Zucker. It's spun in behind the goal. Kale Clegg is stationed there, and he rips it out the center ice for Zemgus Girgensons. Girgensons defended by Dumoulin. Girgensons pulling up, looking, funnels it in behind the goal. Off the back of the cage, Hinostroza slipped it in front. It's intercepted by Zucker, and now Rust will flip the center ice. Casey Fitzgerald with the hand pass to Girgensons, and that will stop play with 10:37 remaining in the second.
Yeah, let's take a look at that save that Jarry made on York. Here's the pass across, just a little bobble right there, and that allows Jarry to come across, take it right off that penguin beak on his chest. Ruda tried to prevent that pass from coming across.
What a season, Bob, for Tristan Jarry. 34 wins, 6th in the league, goals against and save percentage, all-star for the second time in his career. We'll get a message from Sheely's Furniture, Appliances, and Mattresses.
Penguins hockey is brought to you by Sheely's Furniture, Appliances, and Mattresses, the official furniture and mattress supplier of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah, it's great to see that mobility of Jarry coming across. Certainly something he didn't have in the playoffs. Couldn't get in those games. What a shame for Tristan Jarry. He was trying to make amends for that miscue against the Islanders in the previous playoff year. Well, he was great in the regular season, wasn't he, Mearsy? He was an all-star again for the second time. He's such a great skater, Tristan Jarry.
He gave it everything he had in that 7th game. And we found out earlier in training camp that he probably wouldn't have played in the second round had the Penguins won that 7th game. He was that compromised still by the lower body injury, but gave the Penguins the best chance in that 7th game. Lost in overtime, but career best for Jarry in games, wins, goals against average, traditional numbers, and the advanced stats, all really good for Jarry. And the backup tonight is Philip Lindbergh. The 23-year-old signs a free agent out of college, UMass Amherst, where he played with Cale Makar.
You can never have enough goalies. The Penguins had to go, what, 4 deep? I mean, you know, Casey DeSmith went down in the overtime.
Yes.
You know, it wasn't the only team that had to go 3 or at least 3 deep in the playoffs last year.
2-minute minor penalty for high sticking.
A Penguin power play chance when we come back. 9:58 to go in the second period. It's a 3-1 score. Penguins leading the Sabres on our AHN scoreboard. Pittsburgh to the power play.
Jake trying to cut through on the faceoff, clipped by the high stick. So a great opportunity here for the Penguins here as Jack Quinn goes to the box for the Sabres. And the Penguins looking for that first shot this period, Mearsy. We're just over halfway through it.
And second power play chance of the period. It's a face-off victory for the Pens, and walking the line will be Letang. Over to Malkin, loads up, fire, stop, big rebound in front, over to Crosby! Did he score or not?
He thinks he did, and the Penguins shot the puck. Crosby's saying, yeah, it's in. See,
they know.
You know why we don't know? Because Sidney's not celebrating today.
That's true.
He's not. Normally he would know. The hands go up over the head, but it's exhibition. And Crosby with the shot, he goes up high, goes off the back bar. And for Sidney Crosby and the Penguins power play, they are on the board. And you know what? It was shot first mentality. Win the faceoff, shoot the puck, Malkin, play off the rebound and score a goal. Like it seems easy. It's not that easy. But what a great shot that was by Crosby.
And there's the horn.
Oh, there it is.
Penguins right back in. Russ with a bullet to the glass. So a power play goal, and that is something Mike Sullivan is going to be preaching and using that clip, just as you talked about, Bob. Simple shot, big rebound, breaking down coverage.
How about the play by Gensel? He's right in front of the goalie. Crosby's way over in the corner, and he finds him on the tape, and Crosby's able to thread that needle and score up high. These guys are unbelievable.
So it's Sidney Crosby with his second goal of the game. And the Penguins able to capitalize on the power play. Gensel gets a third point, as does Crosby. And Malkin, who initiated with that shot right on goal, factoring in on the scoring as well. This is Dan Heinen, he'll set it up for Ty Smith. Smith, the shot, he scores! Ty Smith! Having himself a night. Penguins up 5-1.
Ty Smith through traffic, Kapanen was in front, went through that mass and did not appear to touch anything. Let's take a look. Smith will just get it there. Goes off a stick up high. Goes by a defender in front. And there's Kapanen as he watches it get in behind Comrie. And the Penguins, couple of shots, couple of goals. See, they gained some momentum from that power play.
The goals a minute 3 seconds apart. First it was Crosby on the power play, then Ty Smith with his first goal in black and gold. He's definitely been impressive. You see the skating ability, and especially the work on the offensive blue line. That's what Mike Sullivan has highlighted. Got to work on some aspects on the defensive side of things, but they like the pairing. You've got a defensive guy in Jan Ruda, bigger defenseman, and then a smaller offensive-minded defenseman, Ty Smith. And the Penguins up 5-1 against the Sabres here. 8 minutes to go in the second period. Puck carrier is Sean Malone, Buffalo native, tossed on goal by Hinostroza. Crosby sent it up the wall. Tap forward by Letang, looking for Raquel. It's loose in the middle and just nudged away from Jack Quinn. Jake Gensel, three-point game. Back for Letang. Crosby line on the ice. This is Letang after a career high in points. And a hometown discount, I would say, as far as the contract that he signed. Could have made some more money elsewhere, but wasn't going to leave Pittsburgh.
A couple looks at that goal as Ty Smith just gets the puck there. Looks like it might clip the stick out high and get by a couple of bodies. Our Super Mo presented by AHN gives you a good look at Kapanen in front of the net. You're going to get rewarded that way. And look at Reardon, a little reassurance for Ty Smith. And Ty listening very intently to what Mr. Reardon has to say, the former blue liner himself.
Dumoulin with a shot, and it's blocked in front of Comrie. July 16th was a big day for the Penguins with a couple of huge trades. That was the deal with New Jersey for John Marino, acquiring Ty Smith, 17th overall in 2018. He was the 6th defenseman taken in that draft. And that's what amazes me, Bob. Some of the other moves, yes, re-signing the big names, that's been well documented from the offseason by Ron Hextall, but how about some of the other ones? Getting some young players like Ty Smith and Ryan Poehling. How about re-signing a guy like Casey DeSmith? And also, while doing it, keeping their first-round pick, which became Owen Pickering. So that's how busy Ron Hextall was. It was an incredible summer.
Yeah, it really was. There's a look up top there. There's Mr. Hextall, Ron way over there on the right. Remainder of the staff. And they were busy. It was a busy, tight, compact summer for these guys. They got everything done, and we're inside a week. Can't wait for the beginner.
Odd man rush for Buffalo. Good back check by Poehling. Nudged it off the stick of Bjork. Tapped up high by Olofsson. Fitzgerald the fake and the shot, and it goes wide of Jari. In behind the goal, Rasmus Asplund looking for a play. Indirect pass to Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald back for Asplund. Saucered all the way across, pass toward the middle. Bjork couldn't get the shot off, defended well. Pilot to Olofsson. Backdoor try. Poehling all over his man. The puck is corralled by Archibald, couldn't get it out. Another shot attempt from Pilot, and that will be deflected out of play.
So the Nashville Predators, they lead the National Hockey League right now, is that correct?
This is the first day of the NHL season. A regular season game was played earlier today in Prague, and the Predators won against the San Jose Sharks. How about this? Jaromir Jagr was in attendance there. He was speaking with the media yesterday. Your old teammate, can you believe he's now 50 years old?
Is he hanging up the blades
and
yet?
He's not hanging up the blades. He says it's getting harder for him because he's an owner as well. He owns the team in Kladno in his hometown. But he was not ready to say, I'm retiring.
Oh, man, come on.
Do you believe it? That teenage kid that you played with.
How's the mullet look?
Is not, no.
I didn't see it.
No mullet.
No?
Looks like a rock star. And, yeah, a big deal anytime he's at a hockey rink in Czechia. Jaromir Jagr there, and the National Hockey League there for a couple of days with the Preds and the Sharks. They'll play again tomorrow. Puck is dragged in by Petrie, slipped it right in front, battling for position is Brian Russ. Russ crashes down to the ice against Clegg. Davies takes over. Jeremy Davies, 25-year-old defenseman, some time with the Nashville Predators. Drop pass, Cousins. Had that knifed away from him. Malkin on the counterattack for the Pens. Finesse move at center, then another one away from Davies. Malkin dragging, teammates changing, has to throw it back. The Penguins will be able to complete that change.
I love that. Malkin had nothing left in the tank. He got up and started digging, and you know what? He got back and was able to deny an opportunity from the Sabres. Great stuff there for Gino.
Getting tied up is Dumoulin. Trying to wedge it out of there, Heinen. Trickles back to Davies. Dumoulin racing back defensively when the Sabres was cherry picking. Now it's Labushkin who will whip it in. Tristan Jarry cutting it off, plays it away from Girgensons. Chris Letang turning. It was a 6-year deal for Letang, $36.6 million. After maybe his best season, 68 points, career high. Middle. Oldest players seem to be the best condition, and they have set the tone in this camp. They look fantastic. And this guy, you expect it from 87. Tang, Malkin. It really has been fun to watch. Middlestat throws it off the traffic. Tuck with a chance. Couldn't get that through. And it'll be hoisted out by Ricard Raquel. Under 4 minutes to go in the second period. It is a 5-1 score. Sabres got a shorty from Hinostroza, and then Crosby on the power play, and Ty Smith with his first of the preseason. Good poke check by Smith. Crosby.
Oh, did you hear the heads up?
A lot of heads up.
Here.
You can hear that.
Up. You never know in an exhibition game who's trying to make a name for themselves. You better get your head up.
Good rush from Pilot to the net, and he crashes into the post. The puck stays out. Lawrence Pilot. Good burst of speed.
How about Ruda? Oh, man, did he take him off his feet? Wow, Pilot was coming in there. Ruda looked like he was beaten, but he just absolutely got a piece of him and just threw him into the cage. Looks like everybody's okay, including the netminder, who certainly took a beating last year in a play similar to this, Mearsy, and you could see Pilot, his head hit the. Luckily, his helmet was on when and then was dislodged, and that could be very, very dangerous. And thankfully, and a long while ago, they, those posts never moved, Mearsy, before, and it was very tough for a lot of players.
Got to have some give there. And a lot of injuries. Luckily, Pilot okay, and Tristan Jarry. Yeah, similar plays. It was that April game, got run over a bunch of times against the New York Islanders that led to that lower body injury and wouldn't return until a month later in Game 7 against the Rangers, and still wasn't at 100%. Dale Clay back to track it down for Buffalo. Clay trying to stretch it out off the stick of P.O. Joseph. Victor Olofsson runs it off a stick, and it'll pop down in the corner. Handled by Anders Bjork. Bjork to open ice. Olofsson skipping on him, keeps it in the zone. Drives it into the empty corner. Around to Lyubushkin, big defenseman. Sabres were last in the league in hits last year. Lyubushkin is a guy who can change that. A 2-year deal, rugged defenseman. Finished last season with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Jacob Bryson getting pinned by Paling. Now Olofsson locates Cousins. He'll have to drag it away from Dumoulin. Now we'll get it back and swivel into his own zone.
Well, things under control again for the Penguins, who were outshot 7-0 in the first half of this second period, but have taken it over.
Here is Bryson, the pass for Krebs, and he was defended by Letang. Now J.J. Peterka. Peterka and Quinn lit it up in the American Hockey League last year, combined for 129 points. Letang sends it right in front. Now that'll be cleaned up by Paling. High flip from Dumoulin, trying to track it down. Zucker, he'll negate the icing call. Jason Zucker getting tied up by Bryson. Now Casey Fitzgerald slips it off the wall. Dylan Cousins will take it away for Buffalo on a 2-on-2 rush. Cousins along with Krebs, end of his shift though, so he wants to chip it in and go to the bench.
Malkin wants his puck right now. He just told Letang to leave it for me.
Wanted to go coast to coast. Puck skipped on him a bit. Nice pass though back for Rust. What's he gonna do? Back to Malkin. Malkin had that hacked away. Now Zemgus Girgensons from Riga, Latvia.
Dino's working hard out here. He's really trying to up his conditioning level and taking advantage of this game.
Here comes Kapanen, pulling up and turning, looking, goes to the line for Joseph. Joseph with the shot, and it's fought off by Comrie. Jeff Carter out there on the forecheck, along with Kasperi Kapanen. Girgensons. Pinching will be Jeff Petrie. Petrie with 5 hits in the first. Couple of big step-ups, too. And that's what the Penguins want to see from him, using that size. Hinostroza sends it around for Middlestat. 24 seconds ago in the second period. And Dumoulin with an opening. And he will send it out softly enough. It won't be far enough for icing. And now Lyubushkin slides it forward for Jack Quinn. Quinn for Middlestat. Hits the line with some speed. Casey Middlestat leaving it for Alex Tuch. Tuch for Middlestat. Tried by Lyubushkin. Blocked in front by Raquel. Dumoulin trying to pivot. And that's going to do it for the second period. So 2 goals for the Pens, Crosby and Smith. Hinostroza for Buffalo in the second, and it's a 5-1 score after 40. Dan Potach is going to be speaking with Josh Archibald. And the second intermission report in its entirety. It's coming up next. Turnover, Crosby, Gensel open right there. He scores! Jake Gensel! Magic of those two, making it 1-0. Raquel, Gensel, another chance. Crosby, back door. He scores! There they are again. Tic-tac goal. It's 3-0. It's looking pretty sharp here in the preseason finale as we get set for the third period from downtown Pittsburgh, PA. 5-1 Pens And over on the bench a little while ago, the captain with one of the new guys, Jan Rutta. Bob, what do you think? What could they be talking about or looking at on the iPad?
Yeah, they talked about that last shift in the second period. Jan Rutta said, come on down here, Sid. Let me know how we want to handle this defensive coverage in our zone. They were stuck in there for about 30 seconds. And Crosby explaining what he thought he wanted. And, you know, you love to see that. Rutta loved playing with the big guns in Tampa Bay. He said when they were interested in me, you didn't think the Penguins had any room for him. And he said, hey, boy, yeah, they're interested. I want to come play with these guys. It's just like Stammer and Kucherov. Now I got Crosby and Malkin. This is awesome. Maybe got a chance to win some more cups. And this is what you want to get out of these exhibition games, that kind of communication. You want to iron things out, and I love that. I love that talk.
Crosby's like another coach on the bench. You got his hockey brain. And Jan Rutta, 45 playoff games over the last 3 postseasons with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Of course, lost in the Stanley Cup final a season ago to the Colorado Avalanche, but a 2-time Stanley Cup champion. And one of the newest Penguins, Jan Rutta, signed a 3-year deal on July 13th. See a stay-at-home defenseman wearing 44 for the Penguins. You can't help but think of Brooks Orpik, right?
Right away, I thought about Brooks.
Jan is right-handed, but still, you see the 4-4.
Yeah. Boy, was he tough to play against, Brooks Orpik, and they're hoping Rutta is the same way.
Slotzer pass on the money. Malkin with the chance, and that's shut down by Comrie. Evgeny Malkin already with 2 assists tonight. Rutta +3. Ty Smith 2 points, 4 shots to lead all players, and then Crosby and Gensel have been lighting it up.
How about that behind-the-back pass? Little sauce there from Zucker to Malkin. Malkin's getting something out of this game. He's been digging in, been back-checking. Hitting his legs.
I'm just looking forward to the next sit-down. Gino and Potash, those 2 best buddies.
What were they talking about?
1 minute they're talking about
time?
zombies. The next one is animal noises. I just can't wait. 1 year it was sushi, sit-down conversation. A lot in store for you this year. Not just with those 2, Dan, with the entire team. A lot planned. We're looking forward to it. It all starts in 6 days. Penguins and Arizona Coyotes. Opening night at PPG Paints Arena on Thursday. And then a great showdown next Saturday against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Davies with a shot in traffic in front of Tristan Jarry. P.O. Joseph hoisted out to center, allowing for a Pittsburgh change. Decisions have to be made. The Penguins hockey operations staff, especially on defense with those 9 defensemen. Mark Friedman, Chad Ruedel, where do they fit in? Both were very good last year. We talked about P.O. Joseph quite a bit tonight, and yeah, Ty Smith having quite a night.
He really is. And, you know, Brian Dumoulin's coming back from an injury. Marcus Pettersson improving daily. It is quite a logjam. There's no question about it. And then you got Chris Letang, who's going to play half the game.
Or more.
Or more.
And I do want to mention Ty Smith could be sent down without having to go through the waiver process. Yeah, I don't see that happening with the way he's played in this camp.
Yeah, if it happens, it may be just something they have to do on paper until they get their ducks in order.
True.
And that's what Mike Sullivan said today. Just because somebody gets sent down doesn't exactly mean they're not a big part of this team. And that could just could be a maneuver that Mr. Hextall has to perform just to become compliant.
You want to be the next guy too, because you know there will be injuries, you know there will be call-ups. Happens every season. So you want to be that next player. Talk about a guy like Drake Caggiula, who we liked watching him. Talked about him last week actually in the game in Buffalo, and he's been sent down. But Archibald with a bid on Comrie makes the save. And then these other defensemen as well. If they're not here in Pittsburgh, you want to be that next player. And you never have an NHL season where you just have 6 defensemen. You need a bunch, especially if you're going to go long into the spring and hopefully the summer. Great to see the Penguins with options now on that blue line. Dumoulin, drive, Tang will keep it moving.
Good rotation here from this line. Look at them all moving their legs, trying to create energy, turn the tide, get the momentum.
Sent back and Dumoulin walked the line. The handoff to Letang. Letang looking in front for Poehling. That was denied by Comrie. They go low to high. Dumoulin loads up, fires. That was blocked by Malone. Deflects over to Letang. Snaps it across, but it's behind Poehling. Held in the zone by Dumoulin. Dumoulin for Poehling. Pass to the top is tipped out by Hinostroza and will be retrieved by Ricard Raquel. More energy, Bob. Yeah, I like that energy line. Aggressive players. You know about Archibald. And Ryan Poehling brings some of that element as well.
Good player, 9 goals last year. A team that really struggled in Montreal. More goals than assists for Poehling.
85 National Hockey League games in total. And this is his 5th preseason game. Ryan Poehling, number 25. One of the newest Penguins. Nice soft pass, Jensen. Even better play. Crosby skate to stick. Gonna make something happen now. Smith, another chance, and that'll go high off the glass and out of the zone.
Crosby using the inside edge of that trailing skate to receive that pass seamlessly, by the way. Not even looking down at his feet. He knows where they are.
He had a fun summer. Sid was there for Nathan McKinnon's Stanley Cup party.
I heard,
yes,
I heard.
In Halifax, from Cole Harbour, Nova Scotia. Heard it was quite a rager. Sid was talking about that in a couple of interviews. Outlasted Nathan, too, apparently.
Not surprising.
Alex Tuck. His pass is off Quinn. Dumped on by Rust, and here comes Evgeny Malkin. Couple of points tonight. Jason Zucker. Zucker off a stick, flex away from Rust. Sabres trying to get the motor going with Jack Quinn. Quinn, a hard pass off the stick. Middlestat reaching for it. Penguins break it up, and now Malkin drips back and taps it over to Petrie.
Penguins have played a clean game. No penalties here?
Just the 2, and it's on the Buffalo side.
All right.
Penguins 1 for 2 on the power play. Kapanen from the corner. Back for Petrie. This shot is going to go up to the netting to stop play.
Well, the energy line centered by Poehling. Take a look at his opportunity off this Letang feed. A lot of skates and traffic in the way there as Poehling can't get it through. And then Sidney Crosby, look at this skate. Oh, man. He is so smooth. I don't know how he does it. 18 years. 18. Here we go. Not slowing down at all, Crosby. He was fantastic last year. I left the building shaking my head consistently. Look at that play.
What a play. The hands. Danton Heinen. A beauty to make it 6-1.
Stick handling in a phone booth right there, folks. Danton Heinen. Take a look at his calmness. Backhand, a little back and forth, able to get it around the pad of Comrie in traffic. Boy, that's a handsy move. There's not a lot of room there. A man on his backside. He's able to slip it just by that toe of Comrie. Those are good, quick, solid hands there by Danton Heinen. He came prepared to earn his spot in this lineup this year, and he's done that.
Danton Heinen used those hands to put up 18 goals, a career high for him. 27 years old. Got married this summer. Congratulations to him. As did Brock McGinn. McGinn, Poehling, and Archibald back on the ice. Penguins up 6-1. Danton Heinen with his first goal of the preseason. He's got 2 points. Nice play by Carter, and he'll factor in on the scoring.
Seems like everybody got married this summer, Mearsy.
Yes, I was on the list too.
Congrats.
Oh, thank you, thank you. We missed you.
I know.
You were working.
Okay.
Malone off the shin pad of Petrie. And this is probably the type of game you want, right, Bob? To finish out the preseason, everybody getting in on the scoring. Pens get a power play goal. Tristan Jarry's been solid.
Feeling good about yourself, yep. Yep.
I don't know if you could script it much better than this for an exhibition game.
I don't know. I want to see somebody really celebrate when they score. We haven't had a lot of good sellies here tonight.
Well, I don't know.
Like
in a 6-1 game, I don't know if you're going to get it.
I know. You know what I mean.
Yeah,
you know, like they're acting like they do it all the time, like they've been there before, which they have.
Yeah.
Which they have.
Several of them have.
Yes.
And they want to save it for Thursday, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, that stretch 13 of 16 on the road for the Penguins after 3 of the first 4 on home ice. Card Raquel, drag and shoot, save made by Comrie.
Oh, I love that. Change the angle, get it around that traffic, create a screen.
Part of that road stretch, by the way, there's going to be a game in Chicago, which could be Evgeny Malkin's 1,000th game in the league, assuming he doesn't miss one. Here's Raquel in spinning and shooting, and goes wide of Comrie. That game in Chicago, the Blackhawks will also be honoring Marian Hossa. They'll retire his number. If Malkin plays all the first 19, it'll be game number 1,000. What a special milestone that is. We remember Crosby's 1,000th game from a couple of seasons ago. Zooming over to Raquel. Changing behind the play. Malkin is on. This is Chris Letang. Stick handles. The drop pass for Gensel. And this rotation to Malkin. Malkin, Gensel heading off. Malkin tried to buy some time. His pass, though, was blocked by Olofsson. And here's Bjork. Will wrist it in. Got the Winter Classic coming up this year at Fenway Park. Black Friday in Philadelphia. Also 9 home games in December. Bunch around the holidays, which is always a fun time. Those are some of the highlights, and what should be a tremendous campaign of hockey. And one of the words, Bob, I think it's just hunger for this team. Everyone asks me, how's the team looking? We see fans in Cranberry, the grocery store, and that's the word that comes to mind. These guys, we see it in the skates. This is a determined bunch. They feel that they should have won that playoff series against the Rangers last year. Been here in Pittsburgh well before the start of training camp, and there is a hunger.
There is.
And we haven't seen in quite a while, at least not at this level.
No, you know, it's hard to imagine the guys playing that long are that hungry, and that's why they played that long, because they really have a passion to play the game. But, you know, they're really driven by not only their captain, but their coach. And you know, I don't think enough can be said about Mike Sullivan and the job he's done here. Of course, he was rewarded again with a multi-year deal, but you know, he comes to the rink each and every day just trying to make everybody better and keep this team together as a family. He's done a tremendous job.
Yeah, that's a great point. Best in the business. Mike Sullivan, and with John Cooper of Tampa, been with his team longer as a head coach.
A lot of teaching going on here right now, Mearsy, but for this Penguin team, they got to get off to a great start, bank some points early.
The blast from Labushkin goes low and wide to Tristan Jarry. Kasperi Kapanen will wedge it free. It's carried right back in by Cousins. Spins off the Heinen hit and got it in behind the goal. Jan Ruda for Heinen. And now burst of speed for Ryan Poehling. That's it to Kapanen, back toward Poehling. Poehling gets tied up behind by Davies. Comrie will cover up, and then he'll stop play with 9:54 remaining in the third period. Penguins up 6-1. Yeah, handsy play. First of all, nice work by Carter falling down.
Yeah.
And then look at the moves from Danton Heinen.
Now look at the curve on that stick. Look at it. You know, it's kind of beneficial for a play like this when you're spinning around, taking these plays. I don't know if he was looking back door or just trying to get the puck inside that corner, but that curve right there, Mearsy, you can't tell me that doesn't help you get it around the toe.
I was talking to him about that just a couple of days ago. He actually has 2 completely different sticks, different curve, different tape job. And I said, is there any rhyme or reason?
Yeah,
one
one's
you use?
legal and one's not.
No. He said, no, I'm curious. I'm always trying new things. That's pretty rare, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, boy. There's a good collision in front by Poehling. Yeah, that is rare to have, you know, 2 completely different sticks like that.
Different pattern, different company, but
well, somebody might have a power play stick or a penalty kill stick. Bennett Wolf had a solid ash penalty kill stick back in my day, Mearsy, an old defenseman for the Penguins. You know, maybe you have something with a little more curvature, maybe on a power play. We've seen players with different length sticks. Now, maybe not just the curve, but different lengths in their sticks sometimes. You know, if you were a defenseman, let's say you need a little more poke check there on a penalty kill, maybe you'd use a little bit longer stick. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there for you. I know some guys, they just don't feel right in a game. They're just not, you know, they're not winning the face-off the right way. Maybe they want to try something different. I was never like that. You know, I couldn't tell the difference between sticks anyways.
But you were consistent.
I was consistent, just big and heavy, and not very good. I'm telling you that. That's all I'm saying.
Don't sell yourself short.
If I was, you're quite a slouch. But you know what I was going to say? If I did it all over again, I'd have the toe curve like Raquel.
Yeah.
Not the heel curve, not the big wide paddle. I try to, at least feel like a goal scorer. Get the big curve, get the puck up in the air, over the goalie's shoulders, that kind of thing.
Raquel with that curve, offside there. Has a little look at the stick. There's 67, Ricard Raquel, who's a dad now. His team up 6-1 in the preseason finale.
There he is, the aforementioned Mike Sullivan. Got to be pretty happy with the way the guys are playing here tonight. The big guys putting in the effort, grinding away on the scoreboard. And his team up 6-1 right now, Mearsy.
They were grinding away in practice all week. 3 full practice days. And I'm emphasizing the word full. I mean, 2 days ago, it was an hour and a half on the ice. And every situation, they worked on 3-on-3 to prepare for overtime, 4-on-3, extra attacker, 6-on-5 when they have to try to tie it up with the goalie pulled. They had every situation covered. They did a shootout, 4-on-4. In preparation for a long season, 82 games. This coaching staff, they don't miss anything. Most practices are what, Bob, 30, 40 minutes?
Yeah, once you get going, already an optional skate this morning, but yeah, 30, 40, that's what the guys are looking for once you get into the swing of things. But everybody early in the season will put in the time to become acclimated, even though it's a team that is not a lot of changes, but you did see Ruda talking to Crosby, and so there is going to be subtle changes, a few new bodies here in the lineup, but I do think that is an advantage for the Penguins that they can hit the ground running and hopefully bank those points I talked about, because those points early in the season are certainly as precious as the ones at the end.
Once again, Thursday is the Penguins home opener. It'll take on the Arizona Coyotes. You can log on to PittsburghPenguins.com or scan that QR code on your screen to purchase your tickets for Penguins home games this season. What a year it should be. Might have a chance to get off to a very good start. A couple of teams are coming in, second of back-to-back. Tough competition, though. Some of the opponents, I mentioned Tampa. We're going to see Boston, Toronto coming to town. How about the LA Kings? Third home game. That was a playoff team last year, and they're expected to be even better this season. We'll get an early look at the Kings.
They were good last year against the Penguins.
Yes, they were.
Wow, they
came in here
fast.
They stunned everybody.
They surprised me. They were the best looking team last year, the best team that came in here at that point of the season.
And then we'll have that long road stretch, 13 of 16 on the road. 7 of those games we played in Canada. That'll include the Western Canadian road trip. Also a trip to Seattle, which will be our first trip to Seattle. We were not there. We were broadcasting from the studio last year when the Pens played against the Kraken on the road. Many of these cities we haven't been to in a long time, Bob. I can't wait for a trip to Vancouver.
And Canada from McCann, and we'll see what's going on in Seattle. They were a little bit of a disappointment last year. They're looking for bigger and brighter things from Ronnie Francis's team.
Jeff Petrie at the line, goes it wide of McGinn. Paling walks out, sets it up. Archibald looking for McGinn. It's deflected wide of Eric Comrie. Brock McGinn, love seeing this line in the offensive zone. And you can't forget about Teddy Bluger. Dan Potash talked about Bluger and dealing with the upper body injury, but he was on the ice earlier today. Good to see the Penguins with options down the middle. That is the strength of this team. It has been for a decade and a half. Teddy Bluger in the middle, Ryan Paling, and I'm glad you mentioned Sam Poulin, Bob, because he is now a center, and he's had a fantastic training camp. First-round draft choice. He is still here. Sam Poulin, one of the top prospects in the Penguins organization.
Yeah, I can't wait to see him. I don't know if we're going to get a chance to see him or not here in a Penguin uniform. We'll wait and see.
Sam Poulin, 21st overall back in 2019. So between him and Owen Pickering from this summer, that's 2 first-round picks they've had in the last 8 seasons. Not many. But if there's one other theme in this training camp, it's that Penguin prospect pool is probably better than advertised. And a big reason why the free agent signings that they've made out of college, out of junior, out of Europe, had 10 players at the start of training camp who were signed as many of them undrafted free agents. And that's how you have to do it if you're not getting those high draft choices. Jake Gensel trying to run right through Jacob Bryson. Casey Middlestat locates Jack Quinn. Middlestat back for Quinn, overskated. Going to win a battle at center is Crosby, and he does. Pass over the line. Gensel had Raquel busting down the middle.
I love the way Raquel, you could hear him yelling for that pass right away before Gensel got it after Crosby won the battle.
Now Raquel will carry in, joined by Crosby. Penguins changing behind the play. And we've got 5:23 to go in the third. Pittsburgh up 6-1. This training camp winding down, started with 58 players. And now down to 26, and still some decisions to be made, particularly on defense. Cousins taps it forward, gets it back from Quinn. Puck is in his skates, got it over to Quinn. From the left wing, the drop pass, Alex Tuch drops the shoulder. Tuch was excellent last year, and that run that the Sabres had, 16-9-3 in the final 28 games. Cousins back up high for Clegg, the drive, and that's shut down by Jari. Dylan Cousins, stick handles, throws it off of Malkin, deflects to Dumoulin. Neatly gloved down by Malkin, and he will punch it forward for Zucker. Zucker, Malkin, fancy move, fire, stopped by Comrie. Evgeny Malkin is dancing tonight. It's a multi-point effort. Some dazzling moves tonight. This guy is ready for the opener.
Gotta have some fun. Gotta have talent to do that.
Check out the view downtown Pittsburgh, PA. It feels like hockey season. Nice fall night. And in the third period, it's the Penguins up 6-1 against the Buffalo Sabres. 6 days away from the opener. And Bob, we knew these fans would be treated to quite a show tonight because it was pretty close to the A lineup. And many of the big guns have delivered. Crosby's got 2 goals. Malkin has 2 assists. Gensel 3 points. Brian Rust has a goal.
Yep, 6 goals on 25 shots for the Pens. The only one they gave up was a shorthanded tally.
Pens and Buffalo will meet 3 times this year. We'll see the Sabres again in November, and then it'll be a home-and-home series. December 9th and 10th. First one in Buffalo, second one here. Solid check by Ruda. Punch to the side of the net by Cousins. Loose in front. And pounced on by Rust, and he will guide it back to center. Tristan Jarry, 22 saves. Both goaltenders for the Pens have looked very sharp in the preseason. Can't say enough about Casey DeSmith on Monday in Detroit. He was incredible in that game. Good to see him healthy. After the poor muscle surgery, just after the season came to an end. So many players. You could say the same thing about Evgeny Malkin, Brian Dumoulin. Good to see them healthy and feeling good, looking good out there. How about Jason Zucker, injury-plagued season? And he's healthy. Danny Hinostroza with a shot, blocked by Letang.
You can't say that about every team in the National Hockey League. They're not starting the season the same way the Penguins are, so you got to take advantage of it right now.
Jacob Bryson throws it down to the corner. Hinostroza for Gergensons, and that's off the outside of the cage. Ty Smith has been very good. Jan Ruda +3. Smith a couple of points. 5 Penguins with multi-point efforts tonight.
I like the way Ruda's been leaning on players. I've noticed that a few times here tonight. He's been able to use his strength. He just knocked guys right down to the ground.
Not flashing, probably not going to put up huge numbers. Did have 6 goals back in 2018 with the Chicago Blackhawks, but just a solid, steady defenseman. 6'3", 204. And that's what you need in today's game. You have to have some heaviness on the blue line, and the Penguins wanted to address that. Also have this guy, Jeff Petrie, 6'3", 209. Joseph snaps it to center on the money for Archibald. He will lob it in. We approach the final 2 minutes of the game.
Look at him bouncing around. He dumps it in the corner. Nobody else wants to go in because they know they're going to get banged by Archibald. Just a bowling ball out there. There goes another body down.
There he goes again.
Knocking down the pins.
Always said that in his first stint with the Penguins. He's fearless, right?
Here he comes.
And there's
again.
a guy. This is a guy that doesn't have the size advantage, right?
No,
but he's as tenacious as any player on the ice. Last 3 years with the Edmonton Oilers, 13 playoff games. The Oilers went to the conference final. Gensel off his blade couple of times. Backhand pass in front. is intercepted by Alex Tuck, and we'll tap it forward for Anders Bjork. There's that D combination again. Ty Smith and Jan Ruda, two of the newcomers. The revamped blue line of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Boy, they've looked good tonight.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and they've said to management, yeah, we're okay. We can handle this. Start us, please, in game one.
Gotta like the dynamic there. You have an offensive guy, defensive guy, righty, lefty, bigger guy, not so big on the other side with Ty Smith, but he's skilled.
Very complimentary, I would agree.
That's why they put them together. Now, this preseason is going to wind down, and the Penguins will turn their attention to Thursday nights. We, of course, will have the broadcast for you. We'll be with you all season long, AT&T Sportsnet. 36 seconds to go in the preseason finale. Malkin to Rust. He's got a chance. Fires. He scores. Brian Rust. He's got 2 tonight.
You know, Rust can really sizzle that puck. Not a lot goes into that. Center drive again by Zucker, brings everybody with him, creates that space for Rust and for Malkin to make it. Watch. Head up, little snap over the glove. Scored the same way in the last game. And just beautiful, beautiful stuff there. And Supermo there, presented by AHN. Rust can really shoot that puck, Mearsy, and I don't think he gets enough credit for the way he can score goals, and he's been a big part of the power play for the last couple of years here in Pittsburgh, and everybody here knows the secret.
Career high's 27. Wonder what the ceiling is for him. We got 8 seconds to go. This one's going to come to an end. All Pittsburgh tonight. The Pittsburgh Penguins will end the preseason in style. Next stop, opening night.
That's what you want to see from the squad. Feeling good about yourself, that hard work that you talked about, Mearsy, this week in practice paying off, setting the tone for this Penguin team as they're only 6 days away from opening up the campaign.
Probably couldn't have scripted it any better for a preseason finale to get everyone involved and start to build some confidence going into some more practice days. But all the big guns producing tonight. Gensel, Crosby, Malkin, Rust, and company. 7-1 final score. Wrap things up after this.